Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the newspaper review segment right here on TVC Breakfast. My name is Nelson Etta, and I'm joined by my two gentlemen this morning. Good morning, Ibrahim and Etoma. Looks like an all-boys choir this morning.
Absolutely, it's hardwares altogether.
No software today.
But when we get to trending now, the software will be on board.
The software will be on board.
Let's quickly get to our first newspaper this morning, which is the Nation newspaper. A lot to be considered on politics. And we see right here, economy looking up, says Tinubu. And at the top of it, Presidency, APC, El-Rufai's defection to SDP, inconsequential. Well, politics will always say that.
Absolutely.
Federal government targets investors with new ease of doing business rules. We're waiting to see exactly, many results of that. And we see a thank you letter here to Mr. President, an open letter of appreciation to His Excellency, the President, on takeover on conversion of General Hospital Kumu into a federal medical center. This has been a cry for a while. And so finally, the federal government has done this, and the gentleman in charge, who is himself right there with the president giving a handshake, is saying thank you to the president. We're talking about the governor of Gombe State. Ibrahim and Etoma, the economy is looking up. We just took a report on the inauguration of the youth confab. The president promised this was going to happen. How do you see all of this playing out at the end of the day?
Yes, so I'm so excited that we are beginning to record gains, especially looking at the Naira coming down, from its top,
high pedestal.
Yeah, it's a high pedestal, or apogee. So it's good that we get beginning to see it now, but there's much to be done to have it stabilized. But the thing is, you also see these trickling down to food prices. They're also coming down. Price of rice, price of beans, so interesting. Price of pepper, and I go to market a lot. So
I wanted to say that it looks like things you buy personally.
So I'm beginning to also experience all of these, effect. But the other thing there is that transport fare has not come down due to the cost of repairing, not cost of fuel, per se, but the cost of getting spare parts to repair your cars. So some of these commuters, the commercial bus drivers, they're saying that they're not likely going to bring down the T-fare, anytime soon, except something is done about that.
Etoma, the defection of El-Rufai, does that look inconsequential?
Yeah, he has not defected yet.
Okay.
But his body language says, I'm going to defect. Okay. And if you were an APC chieftain, would you say that is worrisome? You would say it's ineffective.
Yes. Actually, El-Rufai has moved to the SDP.
Oh, he has?
Yes, absolutely. So he's moved to the SDP, and then you see the SDP people, they're so excited, they're so happy that, yes, we're receiving Nasir El-Rufai. But the question we need to ask is, okay, is Nasir El-Rufai, what is his political position? How strong is it politically? Because if you look at him, two-time governor, one-time minister, back in the day, and he's got his own base. But does he have that strong grassroots following, that cult following in the grassroots? I do not think so, because he only appeals to technocrats. The technocrats, the youth that are more of they are technocrats, rather than having the same cult following as you see in Atiku and Kokonso. So it's a whole lot. SDP also belongs to Tinubu.
No, let's call a spade a spade.
One way or the other.
El-Rufai is a heavyweight politically.
Right.
We cannot run away from that. So for a party like SDP to have that kind of heavyweight come join them, it's a big thing. So they have to be happy and show it.
As we make our way quickly this morning to the Punch newspaper, which is our next on the plate, impeachment threat. Fubara vows to fight on as PDP warns Wike's men. I didn't know Wike has men. NNPC or NNCPL, Dangote Refinery begin talks on Naira for crude contract. That sounds like a very good one right there. I like that. I like that. It's sort of a dollarization of the economy. So if we use Naira to do some of this very heavy transactions, it's a good way to boost the Naira and then bring down the dollar. Like
especially with the fact that others are saying that NNPCL has terminated his contract with Dangote, which was supposed to end, March. But they say, no, listen, it's not. Although we've supplied 84 million barrels of crude oil to Dangote, so they're in talks to see how they can renew that contract.
We wait to see the result of that. Natasha suspension, Senate rules out reversal. Akpabio queries suit.
I wouldn't be surprised that the Senate is taking that stance because I would have said, hey, Natasha, this 6 months suspension, use it and try to mend fences and see if we can go forward. And
a little good news here on security. Soldiers rescue 75 civilians from Sambisa forest. Whoa. I mean, that's a huge one right there.
That's big.
75.
That's big. That's really big and very commendable.
And Supreme Court to decide Anyanwu's removal as PDP secretary. I was thinking, Ibrahim, that at this juncture, the PDP has settled the dust on the fact that Anyanwu is the secretary of the party. Why do we still have this debacle in the court?
The last has not been heard, about PDP crisis. So each time I want to talk about that is for you to sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the theater.
Well, why don't we move very quickly to the leadership newspaper, and maybe we'll have a popcorn on that. And something right here, PDP Labour Party caged as opposition coalition eyes SDP. Oh, well, SDP seems to be the big brother. Look, or the sweet koi.
It's like the beautiful bride now. It's, and that's the effect of a big name moving over to the party. Look, electioneering has started.
Resign within 48 hours or be impeached, APC tells Fubara. Okay, we're wondering exactly how that will be. Being that the House have to do what they should do if that is the angle they want to go out to. But look at this. Israel cuts off electricity supply to Gaza. There's something in my head I want to say, but I'm not sure I should say that. The cut, I mean, this sounds like a way of stifling them in a way, cutting off electricity supply to that. But let's see how that would really play out.
If you look at what is going on in Israel since 1948, everything didn't start on October 7th, as they've always said. It's been 1948 after the Holocaust, where they accepted the European Israelis, so to speak. But then you see the genocidal Israeli government led by Netanyahu. He's also facing corruption. He's doing everything to stay in power. And you can imagine, when you're trying to say, if you criticize what he's doing, they say, no, you are anti-Semitic. But what you're doing, you're destroying the olive trees, you're destroying things that are monumental to the ancestral, ownership of the people of Palestine. And so exactly what are you doing? So what we need is peace. Imagine Trump also saying that we can just flush everyone out of Gaza and take over Gaza and make it a luxurious hotel, doing all of those things. So it doesn't make sense. But Egypt is saying they're stepping in.
Trump speaking as a businessman, obviously.
I would say when you're fighting a war, you use everything you have, blocking roads for food supplies, cutting off electricity and all that. That happens during war.
As long as that's
not a war. I completely disagree. He has actually gone against international law. You remember he's been wanted by the ICC, killing women and children and every other person. That is no longer war. That's genocide. It's so glaring.
But there's something here in Nigeria we need to be concerned about. Lassa fever. This was a breaking news, I think, yesterday. Lassa fever death toll hits 98. The federal government needs to swing into action to ensure that this does not, escalate. But let's make our way quickly this morning to the Daily Monitor this morning. El-Rufai is talking why he resigned from the APC to join the SDP. Well, we're to see the effect and impact of that. Nigeria moving in right direction under Tinubu presidency, says Nigeria more secure than it was in 2023. And we see quite a number of issues right there. Sanwo-Olu launches certified accreditors program for safer buildings. We need that in Lagos so we can minimize or possibly eliminate this sudden collapse of different buildings we see here and there. CBN enforces new ATM withdrawal charges. Banks revise fees. I don't want to see any further fee or charge on anybody in this country. I mean, we're having to do a lot. What are we talking about here?
The people are taking a beating from every corner. Now, the ATM charges have been revised. CBN has done. They did the upward to 100 naira, and they are doing another one. Meanwhile, when you go to the POS, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
And the people are the ones that are holding the short end of the stick.
So I think what is different now is that if you go to your bank on the same premises, you withdraw in, they do not charge you. But if you use another person's bank using your ATM, then they charge you. They can even charge you up to 500 naira. That's the way it's now been. So the question is now asking yourself, how do we breathe?
Well, maybe my bank should be everywhere. Well, let's make our way quickly to the Daily Independent this morning, and we see right there, investors interested in our economy and prices are falling, quoting the president himself, says fuel subsidy cut meant to benefit unborn generation, inaugurates Youth Congress Planning Committee. That's great one there for the president. Discourse embark on load shedding as transmission faults disrupt power in Lagos. I saw that a few days ago. Some level of reduction in power supply. With this, I'm hoping that they've stepped up the game to ensure that that is fixed. NNPC clarifies Naira for crude contract with Dangote refinery. We've taken a little bit. Herdsmen killed 20 farmers in 4 Ondo communities. This is a fall in insecurity right there. But then Ondo has a strong presence of Amotekun, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's right.
What's going on here?
What's going on here? That's the question on the lips of everyone. It's a one.
Well, our law enforcement is reactive. We are not proactive. If our law enforcement is proactive, they would have stopped a whole lot of this carnage that we're hearing about. It's unfortunate that we've lost those lives, and my condolences go to the families.
Indeed. And Rivers crisis we see here, we will emerge stronger despite all odds, says Fubara. But he's been told by the APC resign or you will be impeached.
So the crisis in Rivers State, I just hope that they find a level, they come to a round table with it, because if you look at the Supreme Court's judgment, it's not in favor of Fubara. And the APC feels like, yes, we are larger than life now. So it's our turn
and the judgment is clear on what's to be done. Specific details. And so beating around the bush, I really don't understand exactly. But let's make our way straight to the Platform Times this morning. And we see right there, over 7 million businesses shut down in 2 years amid economic crisis. Tinubu owns SDP. Ibokwe declares after El-Rufai's defection, Tribunal will return our stolen mandate. This is quoting the PDP in Edo State. Well, hoping to see that. El-Rufai reassigns or resigns from APC, joins SDP for future political endeavors. Well, I don't want to say something about that, but FG's takeover of TASUT to open more universities for universities others. This is quoting VC. I want to ask Toman Ibrahim. Is it a problem of more universities or strengthening and making to work the existing ones?
We talked about it 2 days ago, I think. Yesterday. Yeah, we have a whole lot of universities, but the funding structure has a problem. We talked about how many million, I think 2-point-something million people taking the UTME examinations, they will be going into universities. Nigeria is a very populous country. Yes, we need plenty of universities and so on, but we also need good funding for those universities.
Absolutely. Indeed. But for want of time, let's quickly get to the Guardian newspaper this morning. We see right here, consumers groan as data depletion exploitation complicates teleco's tariff hike. And there's a breakdown right here. I mean, kudos for this on how the data is being consumed and, airtime and so on and forth. But my plea, gentlemen, is that whatever the decision on the cost would be, please let every Nigerian be able to afford this. We need this for our daily living,
I don't even know what to say.
And we cannot emphasize this over.
If you see the kind of calculation I'm actually having to do, for yesterday, I still had to go to one of the telco's office to, get another SIM, because after making all the calculations, I said, oh, I think this is cheaper. So let me subscribe to this.
When I buy data or I buy airtime, I'm looking for the bonus. I don't see bonus any longer.
And it's it's so sad when you receive bonus and then the bonus is meant for a day. Imagine a network giving me 50 gig for subscribing to them, you know, and then for being a new subscriber, and they ask me to finish the 50 gig in just one day. How?
That is...
I'll call heaven via WhatsApp.
Instead of it being a bonus and a good thing, it becomes a punishment. 50 gig in a day? I mean, come on.
What do you want to download?
Let's look away finally to our last newspaper this morning, which is the Sporting Life. And we see right here, Bayer Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich. Boniface eyes 55th game. And you know the picture right there, they use it. I see the way his eyes is rolled up. Maybe he's really trying to eye this morning. Liverpool versus PSG. Kvaratskhelia, its most important clash. Really? Liverpool versus PSG, is that the most important clash they have?
Yeah, Ibrahim, you have to answer that.
Well, so the thing is, you know, left for those who support, there's the either, I want to say political party.
Liverpool
the football, yeah, the football team, you know, they will definitely decide, because if you look at what's going on, you know, it's more important clash, you know, for them, and they're looking forward to see exactly what will pan out of that. But one thing is, football is a beautiful thing.
So let's do a quick point. Thomas, who do you think would win, take the day, Liverpool or PSG?
I love Liverpool.
So you think they will do it?
Yes, and that's the thing about football. It's almost like politics. So even if you accept
but Paris
political parties,
you can't rule it out. You know,
well, I mean, they're
serious competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for doing a good job with me this morning on the newspaper review segment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that's how far we can go on the newspaper review segment, as we would continue with the rest of the program.
Coming up on TVC Breakfast.